Khara, I want you to begin by telling us about your thoughts on the whole process of reforms that has been ongoing for our banking sector and that needs to continue to contribute to bringing India's economy to a $5 trillion target. You've been a practitioner. Now, as a former state banker, what would you say needs to be done to meet that target from a banking perspective?
Well, banking, to my mind, is always a proxy to the real economy. And because it's a proxy to the real economy, much of it depends upon how the real economy performs. But yes, of course, we have seen the journey of India and how it has moved up and how it has become one of the top 5 economies. So naturally, to address the economic needs, the banks have to keep on evolving it and also keep on offering the solutions. So while doing so, they have been consuming when it comes to the digital public infrastructure which has got created in the country. I think it has really made the life easier for the banks in terms of carrying out some of the uh, operational activities, and also that is one of the reasons why the banks could actually scale up much better and at a much faster pace also. So I think I would say that from the point of view of this is what it comes to when it comes to adoption of technology. But at the same time, you know, the regulatory environment has also kept on changing with the passage of time to ensure that the environment in which the banks are operating, banks should stay insulated from the potential risk. There is an adequate appreciation of the risk culture in the bank. There is adequate appreciation of the compliance culture. It's actually, I would say that it is not that it's only a journey. It keeps on improving with the passage of time. And the only requirement is the bank should keep pace with the times. Bank should keep on looking at what's happening new and how can it be absorbed within the operations. So eventually, I would say that these are the reasons why today banking stands on a much different pedestal as compared to what it was way back in 2016-17. So I think the banks have very well adopted how they need to stay focused on the risk and how they need to manage it. Of course, um, at times it is said that it's a cyclical industry, but I would say that if at all the fundamentals or the principles are very well understood, then perhaps there is always a effort on the banks to stay ahead of the curve and remain relevant, and also it remains on very sound footing as well.
The budget for FY24 had spoken about amendments to certain critical banking laws. For example, the Reserve Bank of India Act or the Act of Banking Companies Acquisition and Transfer of Undertakings Act. Banking is obviously the bridge for Viksit Bharat. In your experience and standing as a banker, public sector banker of 4 decades and more, what is the legal or regulatory framework changes that are required to allow Indian banks to do a much better job?
Well, I think, as I mentioned, that banks are proxy to the real economy, and because we have seen that the economy is evolving at a very fast pace, there are many new players who have come into play, and also how can we integrate, how can we create a very stable ecosystem around. That is one of the needs, and today banking is no more what the banks does. Actually, banking is one of the important component of the ecosystem, and how well the ecosystem performs will actually define the efficiency of the bank also. So I think these are some of the realities which have undergone a change. At the same time, when it comes to the one of the major amendment which has been brought in is in terms of one of the major amendment which has been talked about is in terms of the nomination, the number of nomination, the way it is there for you know for newer instruments like when it comes to the mutual fund, etc. The similar kind of nomination rules were not permissible in case of banks. So all that is getting addressed. So I think essentially I would say that this is a very welcome step to ensure that wherever there is a need for any amendment, I mean, through this statement in the budget, it has been acknowledged that there is a felt need and it will be looked into.